Good morning, everybody. It's probably about 10 o'clock in the morning. Not quite sure. It's snowing. We got probably about, I'm gonna say about 5 to 6 inches of snow on the ground, and it's still continuing to snow. I got my cuddle buddy with me. See, he's always by my side. So, first things first, I wanted to sit there and let you guys know that for all of you guys that are into diabetes awareness, November is Diabetes Awareness Month. I'm going to tell you that because we did a video, me and Tom did a video yesterday about his feet and being diabetic and all that. So we were trying to do the awareness, and so that's when Awareness Month is. But I'm actually doing a video on cervical cancer and cervical cancer awareness because January is Cervical Cancer Awareness Month. And for those of you that don't know, in December of 2001, I had lost my mother to cervical cancer. She battled it for probably about a year before she lost her life. And it took a real big toll on me and everything. I watched her do the treatments, watched her do radiation, I watched her, just disintegrate slowly. So it killed me. But now, almost 6 months ago, I was diagnosed once again for about the third time with the HPV virus. Which means, for those of you that don't know, I'm not trying to be a smartass or anything, but I'm just trying to make everybody aware. Means the human papillonian virus. And I've been diagnosed with that. So every 6 months I have to get a pap smear for 2 years now, again, until it's actually gone, and hopefully it'll go away again. So in March I go again for the pap test to see if it has turned into cervical cancer or if it went away or whatever. But even if it did go away in March, I still have to go every 6 months for 2 years because it could come and go. It's basically transmitted sexually through a male partner. It's not a bad thing because men don't know they got it. Women don't know men have it because it's passed on. It's just something that happens. It's nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's not something to go out and be aware. Unless you're using condoms, you're fine. But it's a scary thing. So now I'm terrified of it, that I might have the cancer and whatever, because I have a lot of stomach issues and whatnot. But I've had stomach issues for years, so it's probably not even to do with that. And I don't have any abnormal bleeding. I have my periods regularly, so we'll see. And I'm very hopeful that the pap test comes out positive, positively good, that I don't have it. Because if I don't, then I can sit there for the next 2 years, every 6 months, say, yeah, it's gonna be a good. The test can come back negative, and all this good stuff. So, but yeah, my mom passed away from it. She didn't even know she had it. She ended up going to the noise you hear is my husband opening a bag of chips. She ended up going to the ER because she was having really bad stomach pain. She thought she couldn't go to the bathroom, number 2, and they said she had a probable fibroid tumor. So she went to the doctor. The doctor did a pap smear, and he said the pap test was abnormal. Which, being abnormal, you're all worried and everything. So he sent her to a surgical gynecologist, and he did, the DNC, where he scraped the inside of her vagina, and, it came back on February 10th, 2000, that she had cervical cancer. And he goes, it's not a death sentence yet. He goes, that's what he said, yet. Nobody ever wants to hear the yet at the end, because when you hear that big C, it's a death sentence no matter what, until you can cure it. And sometimes cancer isn't curable. You can go through all the treatment, waste your time doing the treatment, only to find out in the end that it wasn't curable and you're in hospice or whatever the case may be. But so yeah, on February 10th, I remember the date because my mouth just dropped when I heard him say she had it. So she started the treatments and everything, and it wasn't working. In June of that year, I believe it was, or it was 2001. It was June of that year. She went in to have a radiation treatment. Well, let me put it back this way. They eventually did, in April of 2000, they did a high-dose radiation thing. where it's they put like this tube kind of thing inside, and she walks around with it until she's done with treatment. And it's actually the dose is higher than a regular radiation. Well, something went wrong when she went to do her treatment, her regular radiation treatment, because she was doing both the HDR and then the regular. Something went wrong, and she ended up going for her treatment and coming out. She was bent over, hunched over. She couldn't walk or whatever. They sent her the doctor that she was seeing sent her to the ER. She was doing fine in the regular ER, and then she started to crash. So they put her in the intensive care unit in the emergency room to watch her. And the doctor came out and said they had to take her out for surgery because it had, I guess, they said it erupted inside of her or something like that. And it was, if they didn't get it out, she could die. So they took it out, and while they were in there, they did a hysterectomy. They took everything out and everything. And when I went to see her, she was really upset and everything because they took her lady parts out. She wasn't whole no more. And I think that's when she just stopped caring about her life and all that, because she didn't feel like a whole woman anymore. She could barely walk because I think the hospital had did the surgery wrong, because when she had come home, she had a big gap, I'm not joking, like this in her stomach that I was taking care of. And she would go back, get checked out, whatever, but it was a gap like that big into her stomach. And it went down from a little bit around her belly button down to like right above where her pubic area was. And when she walked, it hurt her, even though it had fully healed, it still didn't look right. Her belly button wasn't even, nothing. It just was not right, and she knew it, and she cried. Even she had talked to the lady next door, and the lady next door said it didn't look right or whatever. But at this point, Mom says, "Well, there's nothing I can do. There's no way I could prove that they had done something wrong, so on and so forth." So she had just basically given up. So then she just dealt with it. Come 2001, she was just dealing with it, like I said. Come 2001, she ended up getting a blood clot in November of 2001. She went into the hospital. She ended up going out AMA due to lack of care from the nursing staff and all that, because when she had peed in her little bedpan and everything, because she couldn't walk because she had a blood clot. I mean, you could see her leg was huge and red. And she ended up checking out AMA because she put her bedpan on the floor. Sorry, my eyes are bothering me. She put her bedpan on the floor, and the nurse never came to get it. She rang the bell, and they still never came to get it. So she wasn't going to take that type of treatment. She thought it was just disgusting when she had to go pee, and she couldn't go pee, and they weren't dumping it, they weren't coming, or they weren't doing anything. So she checked out going to another hospital. They admitted her. They did, the tests, like the ultrasound, some other tests, and she did have a blood clot. And so what had happened was, not only did they find out that she had a blood clot, even though we had already known that because we had already gone to a different hospital, they had found out that the cancer from the cervical cancer had spread into her lungs. Even though she was a smoker, it wasn't from the smoking. The doctor even said the cancer spread from the cervical cancer because the treatments weren't working. So she ended up with lung cancer, and they're like, well, we can get you started on treatment. And she's like, and she was just so like even more distraught than ever, and she couldn't think straight. So they're like, we can release you or we can keep you here and we can do more testing to figure out how bad it is. And she's like, I just want to go home so she can digest it. And she went home. We talked about it, and she had some tests set up to go. We had tests set up to go to see how bad it was. In the morning of December 20th, she had a test that she was going to go to. She had everything set up to go. And my dad comes in and wakes me up and says, Mama's on the floor. She's having trouble breathing. So we get her to her bed, and she can barely talk. She can barely breathe. And I kept telling her I gotta call 911, which was one thing she never wanted me to do because she watched her mom leave in an ambulance because she had died, and that's how her mom left. So I ended up calling, and even though she didn't want me to, she told me she hated me. That was the last words I heard from her. She hated me because I called 911. They took her in. I couldn't go because I had to take care, because I was talking to the cops and still some of the ambulance people trying to get her information, so my dad went. And my dad didn't understand medical terms and stuff like that, so he feels that he did something wrong. It was him that had done something wrong. That he signed a paper that signed her death warrant. But I don't blame him because I don't think it was him. And I guess they needed a blood transfusion. They did CAT scans, MRIs, and all that. And apparently they couldn't find anything for her to be in that situation. This is what we were told, that they couldn't find anything. And so I finally get to the hospital, and at 5:45, 5:45, this big, fat, mean, rude doctor comes in here into the thing. And this was St. Joe's Hospital on 19 Mile Road when it was St. Joe's. Now it's now Henry Ford. He comes into the waiting area for the family, and he says, "We're sorry, we did everything we could, but she passed away." So I wanted to see her. The room wasn't even cleaned up. You could see the blood on the floor. She was covered though, but you could see the blood on the floor, her clothes on the floor, and all that. So they hand me a bag. We go back to the room, and they hand me these papers. They're like, "Well, this is for an autopsy, if you want an autopsy." And then I'm not thinking straight, so they hand me these papers and say, "Oh, you really don't want an autopsy done, so just sign right here." So I'm not thinking straight, so I signed. I should have had an autopsy done, because they're telling me they couldn't find anything, they didn't know anything, but yet she passes away. But according to the death certificate, it was due to the cancer, and I think there's a pulmonary embolism is what I think they put up there. But yet they couldn't find nothing, apparently. But yet on the death certificate, this is what they're putting. If you couldn't find anything, how do you know what she actually died of? So I've always questioned it. Anyway, so they give me a bag of stuff, and for a good few months, I never even looked in the bag because I couldn't. I didn't know what to expect in the bag. So I just, because my mom didn't have anything on her when she left. That's why I didn't understand. So I just put it to the side. And then when I started to pack to move in to be with Tommy, I finally opened the bag, and they gave me her clothes that they literally cut off her body. Like, I really needed to see that. She was wearing yellow. I even know what she was wearing. She was wearing a yellow shirt. I'm not exactly sure what the shirt said. It was black letters across. I don't remember what it said. I think it said Michigan across it. And she was wearing light blue skinny jeans, because that's all she could wear because she was skinny. But I don't understand why they even gave it back to me. There was blood all over the yellow shirt. And I couldn't help but drop to my knees and cry, because it's like, why would they do that? Who in their right mind is going to give somebody cut up clothes back? They normally just throw them away. What am I going to do? I want the bad memories? No, I don't. So that's how that all happened. And the death certificate, the death certificate actually said that it was the cervical cancer and a pulmonary embolism, but yet I was told by the ER doctor that they had no clue, because all the tests came back conclusive. They didn't know what it was. They couldn't find anything. With the CAT scans, the MRIs, everything they'd done, they couldn't find anything. Which still makes no sense to me. I even paid to get her medical records, even though I didn't understand them. But none of that even made sense, looking at them. So, but anyways, the whole point of the story is get tested. Get yourself to a gynecologist and get tested, because cervical cancer is a deadly disease. It's just like any cancer out there. It's like anything. Get yourself tested, because if you don't, you're gonna wait too long. Like I guess my mom did, because she didn't get tested right away. My mom didn't have yearly pap tests like most people do. My mom was a procrastinator. Don't be a procrastinator. Really, get tested. They got free clinics for women. They'll you can get a pap test done. So get tested. Be aware there's ovarian cancer, there's cervical cancer, there's uterine cancer. Get tested before it's too late. Because after my mom's ordeal, I make sure I'm tested when I'm supposed to be tested. I get my pap test once a year. Well, now I got to go back every 6 months for 2 years. But still, get tested. I can't stress it enough. Get tested. Be aware. Be aware of your body. If something's not right, like you see abnormal bleeding, you got, abnormal cramps that you never had or whatever, just go. Go to the ER, whatever. Just get tested. Because don't wait too long. You don't want to be in a situation that I was in to watch my mom slowly just die. All right? So, diabetes awareness, cervical cancer awareness, get tested for it all. It doesn't matter. Just get tested. Because you don't want to be like Tommy with his feet, and you don't want to be like my mom with her life. That's all I can say. It's just get tested. And if you guys have any questions, you want to email me personally or whatever, I now have set up an email address that you guys are more than welcome to personally email me. If you don't want to leave me comments or whatever, you guys can personally message me at stress again. I'm going to start over. BAYBEEGIRL214 and I'll put it in the details section so you'll have it there too. But again, be aware, be tested. It's a serious thing because some people think it can't happen to me. My mom said that it won't happen to me, and it did. Tom said diabetes ain't gonna happen to me, and it did. My dad's never said that. My dad's always like, anything can happen to me, and anything can happen to you. You can walk in the middle of a street tomorrow and get by a bus and not even know that the bus was coming. So I can't stress it again. Get tested. All the women out there, please, just get tested. They even got, as a matter of fact, I think it's girls 13 and up, I'm not exactly sure what the age limit is. They can get the HPV shot that could, I guess, stop it, or what is it? Do you know what the shot does? Because it prevents HPV. So if you got a daughter and you don't mind her getting it, then go ahead. Some people are against it. Some people are for it. It depends on what side you're on. I'm tossed up. I'm either for it or against. I don't even know. It depends, I guess, on the situation. So I'm not even going to go into that because it's like a political thing then. I'm not doing political. So anyways, with that said, get tested. And wherever you're at, be safe and hope it's not snowing. If it is, drive safely. Be careful. Stay warm. And maybe I'll do another one tomorrow. I don't know at this point. I'm going through a lot. John and I have gotten into a huge argument. He left. I'm guessing we're just no longer together. So you probably won't see him in any video anymore. But I guess I'll keep posted on that. I won't go into details as to what happened. I'm not going to degrade him like that. But as of right now, we're no longer together. As much as I do love him, things just didn't work out. So it'll be just me or Tom, or me and Tom, whatever, for now. If he comes back, him and I'll talk and see where it goes. But I highly doubt that he's going to come back. I mean, it was an ugly argument. So be safe. Like I said, get tested, be aware. You got any questions? Again, it's BAYBEEGIRL214 @gmail.com. Again, I'll put it down in the description. So if you have any questions, you want to know anything I can help you with that I'm knowledgeable to, I'll be more than happy to help. I'm not the best person, I don't have 100% knowledge. I'm not a dictionary. I'm not 100% smart, but I know what I've gone through, so I could give you my experiences. But you know what I'm saying? So with that said, I'm gonna go, and it's still for now the Burkhart McLean clan, um, until John and I decide whether it's completely over or not. I have not heard from him. I've not seen him. I have no clue where he's at. Don't no clue what he's doing. So I just basically think that it is over between him and I. But that's okay. I still have my loving husband who loves me very much, even though things are rocky with him. But that's not that bad because it's just minor things. I just get kind of frustrated because I have to take care of his feet, and sometimes it's just, as you see how I have to do it, it's just a tough thing to do sometimes, and he does not work well because his foot does not want to stay in one spot. So, but yeah, that's just basically it. I mean, everybody's got their issues, with their husbands or wives or whatever, but we're pretty good. So, except for those damn feet of his that don't want to stay put. But with that said, I'm going to go, and I'm going to enjoy looking at this beautiful snow. Probably listen to some music. Cuddle with Mr. Riley here, if you can see him. He's all cuddled up for the morning. If you see him, he's all cuddled up in Mama's lap. He is definitely a mama's boy. I mean, literally a mama's boy. Anybody that tries to hit me, attack me, or whatever, he will bite you. This is no joke. It is honest to God, he will bite you. um, so I know I look like a mess. I've been up crying all night, whatever. So, anyways, like I said, message me if you got any questions, if you got any comments, if you want me to talk about anything, um, whatever. Just if you want me to answer your questions via video, I'd be more than happy to. Just let me know. Put your questions down and I'll do a video, or I can email you. Just whatever you want to do, just let me know. And please just put the name of the video that you're responding to or asking about in the title so I know, so I'm not confused, because Jonathan sometimes confuses me enough with his half sentences and I'm trying to figure them out. No offense against him, but you talk to him and he gets in the middle of a sentence and I'm like, what are you talking about? And so let's just please put the heading, like say this video is cervical cancer awareness. So that's what you would put in the title, in the heading of the email. That's all I'm asking. All right, so I'm going to go because I'm just being a jabberjaw. With all that said, goodbye. Kisses, everybody. Bye-bye.